So a lot of people want to know, well, Joy, how do you choose an employer whenever you are a loan officer? Like, how do you choose what bank to go to, or how do you choose which lender to go to, or where to hang your license, and so on and so forth? And for the most part, I'll be honest with you, I've had a good run right up until I ran into a company that sued me. Let's talk about it. Okay, so when you get into the mortgage industry, you never have to look for a job. And when I say you never have to look for a job, I literally mean people will come looking for you. If you think that you're unhappy with your current company, don't worry about it. Just sit tight, hold on. Somebody is going to call you very, very soon. You will get phone calls, text messages. Now, recently, I started getting emails at the job. I was like, ooh, y'all kind of bold, aren't you? But the point that I'm making is when you are in a sales position, you get recruited by other companies. And what happens is, of course, now this is after you've probably secured your first job, you get something called a guarantee. So whenever you all are out looking for a job, or you are, trying to find where it is that you're going to land, either for your first stop or your second, in full disclosure, loan officers, we move around quite a bit, if I'm going to be honest with you. We go to the next best thing, the next shiny thing that we see. If somebody says, oh, well, they have better rates, or oh, they have such and such a program, we gone. We one way, okay, out the door. And that's just something that's known about the industry. Back in 2020, I was starting my new job with a company, and things were seemingly going good. And then, of course, February of 2020 came, and boom, everything that we knew about life had changed. I started working from home, and things were fine with that company. But very, very early in my tenure with that company, before all of the refinances had started, I got a call from a company, and they were wondering if I might be interested in coming to work for them. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good where I am. Things were fine. Because remember, I was kind of still very new there at the company in 2020. As I said earlier, loan officers, we see something shiny and we are off on our way. And so this next company that, again, had started calling me back in 2020, reached out in 2021. And mind you, this was the height of refinances. Everybody was making a lot of money, hand over fist. I was disgruntled with the company I was working for at that time, not because they were a bad company, but just because I didn't like the way that their company was structured. At that time, my colleagues that were doing refinances were making 3 times as much as I was. I was on a purchase team. So, side note, one of the questions that you need to figure out is, if you go into a company that is a consumer direct type setup, you need to ask, do they allow you to do both purchases and refinances? Because my entire career, I was able to do both until I got to this company. And so I was on a purchase team. And so, again, my colleagues on the refinance side, they were making more money than me. And I hated it. I was mad. I was like, that doesn't seem fair. How is this possible? Okay, so I had this other company that was reaching out to me. And so finally I said, yeah, they talked a good game. They told me I'll be able to do the purchases and the refinances. I'd known other former colleagues from other companies that were working there. They told me it was wonderful. This company had a huge name in the business. I believe it's like one of the top 10 mortgage lenders in America. Side note, if you want to know the company that I'm talking about, you can go and look at my LinkedIn to find out what company I'm talking about. I'll give enough information for you to be able to figure it out. And so I was able to work from home. And I love that. I was excited because at this point in 2021, I'm completely spoiled. I'm not going into nobody's office. Are you crazy? So I started working with this new company in 2021. A part of our agreement for me to come was that they would give me a guarantee. And a guarantee is basically a bonus that you receive, is agreed upon number that will give you a few months of a guaranteed salary, so you can get your pipeline ramped up, and then your pipeline will probably produce or outpace whatever that guarantee is. Some guarantees can be $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month. I've heard of them being $16,000 a month for 3 or 4 months. And sometimes if you are a top producer and maybe have a team, there are companies, this company that I'm telling y'all about, and if you Google it, you'll see exactly the story I'm talking about, where they promise people to come to the company and they will give them $100,000 guarantee. Okay? Googleable information. And so my company that I was working for at the time said, hey, okay, we'll give you $10,000. Come over here. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. Okay, cool. Sounds good to me. Now, I do know other colleagues that went over there and they got signing bonuses or guarantees up to $20,000. Well, I started working at this company in, I think it was March of 2021. So I started working there in March of 2021, okay? I was told that I was going to receive these inbound leads. I was told that I was going to, I want to say I was supposed to get like 100 leads a month or something like that. And I very quickly realized after that first month that there was a steep, steady decline for the months of April, May, into June. And I remember in May raising my hand and I was like, hey, what's going on? This ain't what y'all told me. I'm not the problem. Y'all told me that we were going to get this many leads. I'm not getting them. What's going on? I had started to document all of these conversations. I had started to document my numbers. I started to document my team members' numbers, because I'm like, oh, no, y'all not going to play with me, because I'm a performer and I'm not the problem here, okay? So what ended up happening was I remember in May, the CEO did like a company-wide phone call, and on the call they said, hey, we're having a couple of issues. Things are slowing down. We're gonna get some more employer contracts. So what this company does is they partner with employers. So like, I'm making this up, but just pretend. So like a company like FedEx. So if you work for FedEx and you get a loan through this particular company, you'll get some sort of discount. And people love discounts, even if they're fake discounts. They love them, right? And so that was what was helping to drive the business into the consumer direct setting. Okay. So the CEO gets on the call and CEO says, well, we having these issues right now. We're going to get everything back up and running. Don't worry. But in the meantime, in between time, we going to put a pause on hiring for a little while. Okay, cool. Red flag. You're going to put a pause on hiring. Cool. But then he says, oh, but the people that we've already told them that they can come, we're still going to let them come on over. You going to let these people quit their job and you telling us that you having problems? But see, now I'd always worked for a bank, and at the bank, you had these kind of problems. The bank fix it. When you had issues, the issues are really non-issues, because the bank has endless leads. I mean, they have all of these millions of deposit customers, and you just send out a flyer, you put on some sort of promotion, the phone starts ringing again, and everything is all good. Nope. Not this company. It was not a great experience at all. It was exactly the opposite of great. And so this great company, allegedly, ended up coming to me sometime in June, I think. And after I talked to my manager and everything, thought everything was all good, all great, all wonderful, my manager was like, oh no, it's not just you. Everybody's down. It's all good. And after I experienced a very toxic work environment where the managers openly cursed, threatened people, they ain't threatening me, but threatened people, were very intimidating with their tone, with some of my colleagues on other teams. This company, that again was very far from being great, actually got me on a call, and it was a Zoom call, and I was on the line with, it was 3 managers. So my immediate manager, his manager, and her manager. And so they said, hey, we have this wonderful opportunity for you. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. Instead of you being in consumer direct, we ain't going to fire your black ass, but we are going to allow you the opportunity to go and be in this other position. And mind you, when they said this other position, they couldn't tell me what the position was. They couldn't tell me the job duties. They couldn't tell me how much the person would be getting, the people in that job role got paid. They had zero information for me. And I want you to understand, I was on my my hormones, they was flowing throughout my body. And baby, when I tell you, I was like, these people are trying to ruin my name. Now, one thing about me, I like to laugh and play and kiki and have a good time. Hello. But you can't play with my name when it comes to how hard I've worked in this role. I take it very, very, very seriously. I ended up basically knowing nothing. I knew that they were like, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. What? What you mean? Where am I going? So we ended the call with them saying something like, oh, this is a wonderful opportunity, and make sure you sell yourself real good. You'll be getting a phone call around 1 o'clock. It was 10 o'clock. I'm sobbing. What the hell is going on? I know you lying to me right now. What the whole hell? Around 1 o'clock, I ended up, I don't think I even talked to that first guy. It was just very sloppy. I'll say that. Let me skip all of this. I'll say this. It was a very sloppy hiring process. I ended up speaking with multiple managers, and what it was that they were taking me from the consumer direct setting and making me somebody's assistant, AVP or something like that, for some top producer from in the President's Club in their retail division. And the retail division is the people that's out in the streets and they, shaking hands, kissing babies, making relationships. Remember I said I was a consumer direct, and consumer direct is the phone calls, right? So I didn't have to see anybody. Do you know that these people gave me a manager in the state of Rhode Island? I live in North Carolina. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the map, but Rhode Island, no shade to Rhode Islanders, but I forgot it was a state. I don't know what to tell you. I did. What? Rhode Island? I live in North Carolina. Okay. So I get this manager. He tells me he's going to buy me leads. Didn't buy me leads. No, I'm lying. He did. He bought leads from, I won't say the name because I don't want to disparage this particular entity, but it is widely known in the business that the leads from this particular lead source are complete and utter trash. So he said, oh no, it's gonna be fine. I just need you to get licensed for Rhode Island and Massachusetts. How am I supposed to do that? And I live in North Carolina. Oh, well, let's figure it out. So long story short, I never got licensed for either one of those. He said he was going to buy me leads. He ended up buying some leads. He not only hired me, he hired one other guy because, again, they were trying to create an environment to make me quit. And so I stuck it out from, I think, all of July, August, and September. And I remember thinking to myself, this guy got 60 days or I'm out of here. He never called me. He didn't check up on me. He didn't anything. And again, you're not going to play my name. But I do remember this. When I transitioned, I, again, had never transitioned into a situation where I had not gotten a guarantee. When you go into these companies, you will get a compensation agreement and you'll sign, they'll sign, everybody will sign, and boom, this is how you're going to get paid. And then if they change it, then you sign something again, reflecting the changes, and you keep it pushing. So when I got on with the guy in Rhode Island, he did change my compensation plan. The agreement was that I was going to get a $3,500 a month non-recoverable draw. And so a draw is if you make, let's say, $3,500 a month, your commission is supposed to cover the $3,500 a month or more. And at some companies, if you don't make enough to cover the $3,500, then you go in the hole until you make enough money to come out the hole, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So I was like, $3,500? What you mean? What am I supposed to do with $3,500 a month? Like, I eat lunch? Like, you gotta understand that I had been making some decent money for a little while, and I lived like it. I did not expect any of this to happen, because remember I said this is in 2021. Everybody's making a ton of money. I left the company that I was at because I was not making a ton of money. I was doing okay, but I was not doing what my colleagues were doing, right? And normally I'm not a grass is greener person, and I want y'all to hear this story, and please take away from it that grass is not always greener. But in this particular instance, like, I hated waking up every day, and I was like, y'all not gonna steal the joy that I have for this job away from me, okay? So that's why I left the other company. So I'm at this company. They told me I was going to be in a call center. They gave me the guarantee. I got the guarantee. I was there for a couple of months. Realized really quickly that they had completely oversold the position. And then they ended up moving me and a bunch of other people out of Consumer Direct and forced us to go into the retail sector. Got to the retail sector. I'm in North Carolina. The manager is in Rhode Island. And I was not flourishing. I was drowning. I was drowning really badly. I had no money, and so I ended up going into debt. I went into the hole because I ended up getting like a personal loan, and I was like, no, I can fight my way through it. It's gonna be all good. So I stayed until October, because again, like I said, I'm like, this dude is not checking for me. I saw what it was. The writing was on the wall, but I remembered that I had signed an agreement back in March that I would stay with the company for 12 months. But when I signed it, I signed up to be a loan officer. I was signing on the line to be a mortgage consultant or whatever the name was that they had at the time. I don't remember. They changed me from the role that I signed up for to this other role called AVP or something like that. I don't even remember, if I'm being honest with you. I saw it in my eyes as a demotion. Again, you playing with my name. I don't like that. And so, not only that, you changed my compensation agreement. So in my mind, this is the original agreement I signed is void. I didn't break up with y'all. Y'all broke up with me. I didn't quit. When I signed, any person in their right mind would be like, okay, cool, like, I'm signing up to do this job. It's not like I'm using extremes, it's not like I'm signing a contract to be the CEO making, you know, $6 million a year, and then I get, oh, well, we don't want you here, we're going to put you at janitor. What you mean? Well, I need to leave because I got CEO bills. What are we, well, this isn't, are you going to pay me CEO money to be the janitor? Okay, so you're forcing me out. So I left in October, so I stayed for 6 months. So from March to October, I was at the company. I got to the new company, I flourished. Things were good. Great, wonderful, awesome. All 2022, things were cool. I'm, you know, closing deals. I mean, I'm moving and shaking. Life is fine. The beginning of 2023, see the other video. I'll make sure that I insert it because it was. Thank God that we're out of 2023. Let's just say that. Cheers to 2024. So. In 2023, on March the 31st of 2023. Now, mind you, I left the company in October of 2021. In March of 2023, I received an email, and I said, I know you lying. It was a demand letter asking for that $10,000 guarantee back. You heard me. $10,000 They was like, hey, I just want you to know this is a really serious matter. You know, you got to make sure that you get us his money back immediately, or we're going to take further action. And I looked at that thing, and I closed my laptop, and I went on vacation. Because I was like, y'all got me effed up. And so I thought over the vacation, I was like, no, this can't be right. But before I went on vacation, I called one of my old co-workers. I had worked with this person at another company prior to this great company. Great in quotes. I'm trying to be polite. I said, hey, I just got this letter in the mail. I got this letter. Hey, I just got this email and it says that I owe them $10,000. They want their guarantee back. And he says to me, them mother sent you one too? I said, so okay, I'm not being targeted. So that made me feel a little bit better. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, well, what's this about? Now, mind you, and I know you don't understand this, but in 2023, it was a shitstorm, and a lot of companies stopped making money, and they stopped hiring, and they started laying people off, and a lot of companies started going out of business. That's just what was happening, because it just wasn't enough loans to go around, because the interest rates went through the roof in a very short period of time. And I was just like, well, I ain't got it. I don't know what to tell y'all. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. What y'all want me to do? I ain't got it. I'm moving on with my day. I'm going on vacation. I ain't got it. So about 6 weeks later, I reached out to an attorney, and I asked an attorney, I said, hey, what do you think about this? The attorney giggled and said, hey, well, just, respond and say, hey, I didn't quit y'all, y'all quit me, and see if they respond. I got nothing. Didn't get no type of response at all whatsoever. So fast forward a few more months, they reached back out to me over the telephone this time and said, hey, we're going to get an arbitrator, and I think it's an arbiter. Okay, so I don't know the right word. But they were going to get somebody to, come to the table, and they was going to be like, you need to run us this coin. And I was talking back and forth to the guy, and I was like, oh, hold on. I said, I'm talking too much because you work for them. So I'm going to go ahead and end this call, and that's going to be that. Honestly, right now at this moment, I haven't heard back from them. So after that phone call, the very next day, I kid you not, because I gave it to God. I was like, bruh, this is too much for me. My year's already going bad. I can't deal with this. And do you know, the very next day, I started getting emails and text messages from some of my friends that knew I worked at this great company. And they started sending me these headlines that said that this company was going after all these employees that used to work there to recover guarantees from people that they had hired within the last 2 years, because I guess legally they had 2 full years to be able to recover their money. And generally speaking, in this business, people only will come after you like for a large sum of money if you screwed them over. So the news headlines talked about how there was this employee that had worked at the company, done his part, and he had a $100,000 sign-on bonus or a $100,000 guarantee. And the company ended up firing him either a day or a week or a month before his time had expired, and he wouldn't owe them any money anymore. So honestly, I don't know what ended up happening with that. I'm assuming with it being $100,000 and getting national attention and being, all over the blogs, well, not blogs, but all over the news headlines, I'm going to make the assumption that even though in the news articles, the company said, well, we have a right to recover our money, and we're going to do everything that we can. Everything that we're doing is within the law, whoop-de-whoop-whoop-whoop. And they were going to continue forward. I haven't heard from them. I don't know what happened, but I ain't got it. I ain't got it. So I said all of that to say this. Be really careful when you all are negotiating your contracts. Be really careful when companies are offering you large sums of money to come. I'm going to be very honest with you. This has never happened. Like, everybody within the industry was like, what's wrong with them? That never happens. Like, take your L and you move on. Like, just cut your losses. So be careful when you're interviewing and you're negotiating. If you get a guarantee, try the best that you can to fulfill that guarantee. If that company ends up terminating you, they probably not going to come after you. But I just want to let you know, I'd have never thought that this would happen to me. Especially because, like I said, I didn't quit them. They quit me. They shuffled my life around and turned it upside down. And I am still feeling the effects and the damage from it. And when I get my life together with this great company, I ain't forgot about y'all. Anyway, that's my story about how I got a demand letter and almost sued or might get sued. I don't even know what's happening, but I ain't got it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, y'all have a great day.